Bob Tom's wheel, by the way. And what kind of a wheel is this? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, yeah, let's be equal opportunity of the pie here. There's the first one by Bob Tom. All right, here it is. All right. I guess we got a Gen Assert, and let's go ahead and take a look at it. There it is, a Bob Tom. And hold on, Stooges Rule. Daddy, why do you hate this show? We love to hear your voice, and your logic on politics is bullshit. Yeah, fuck you, that's why, all right? Shove it up your fucking goddamn prolapsed anus. That's why, Stooges Rule.
As a young English...
All right? What is this, Bob Tom? What the fuck is this?
...speaker first learning the Latin alphabet.
Latin
One letter
alphabet?
stood out. A mysterious letter with a strange name. W.
W.
Unlike practically every other letter in the Latin alphabet, W has a name
Great,
which in
Bob
no way
Tom.
reflects its
Yeah.
pronunciation.
Great.
It makes the sound W, and yet it isn't called we or way. Instead, it's named for its shape, W, which would solve the mystery if it weren't shaped more like a double V instead. Of course, as a child, I never thought of the alphabet and its letters as having been designed by
Jesus
anyone.
Christ.
As far as I knew, the letter W and its confusing name were created along
Are you
with the
kidding me,
universe
Bob
itself
Tom? You
at the
actually
dawn of
fucking
time.
had this
In
on your
reality,
fucked up
the
fucking
alphabet was a
shitbird
human
wheel?
invention. The letter W came from a series of decisions made by real people, like every invention.
I want to
There is
say
a story
cheers to everybody
behind
out there
W,
who is
and
on
a fascinating
D-Live.
story at that.
We got
This is the story.
fucking 10,000 lemons in the treasure chest. What is this?
Our story begins in ancient Egypt, nearly 4,000 years ago.
Oh, great.
At this point in time, written language
The
had
original
existed in Egypt
ancient
for
origin
centuries,
for the word,
using a writing
the letter
system
W.
we today call hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics were based on a rather elegant idea. To write any given word, you could essentially take all of its sounds and simply draw a picture of something with a name in Egyptian that starts with each sound.
It's called symbolism. Perfect timing. Perfect fucking timing, asshole. Perfect fucking timing. Shut up!
That's a massive
Fucking
oversimplification, but it gets the general idea across. Using this system worked great for writing Egyptian, and thanks to the wonders of papyrus, it was far more portable than the older cuneiform used in the north. But in its design, there was a very clear limitation. Hieroglyphics simply could not be used to write any language other than Egyptian.
That's right.
And it was this limitation that led to the creation of what is likely the single most important invention in human history. In a turquoise mine in the Sinai Peninsula, a miner scratches a short phrase into a wall, written in their native language, a language in the Northwest Semitic family.
Okay,
it's the oldest known text written in a writing system that would go on to influence writing itself everywhere.
By the way, did you hear that? Semitic. It's Jewish or Arabic, but either or.
Forever. A writing system that took the idea behind hieroglyphics and adapted it into something simpler, something that could be used to write multiple different languages. The first international phonetic alphabet. The Proto-Sinaitic script. Each letter is always pronounced as the first sound in the name.
And believe it or not, look, I don't want to tell anybody, you believe what you want, okay? But this is a mystery school. You know, this person that's narrating this is talking a lot about hieroglyphs. Egypt, in my opinion, because they had to use hieroglyphs in order to communicate, I have always speculated that the Egyptians, especially in the early dynasties, did not have any kind of spoken language. And that's why if we, I'm not trying to go into weird shit, but there is some level of evidence that suggests that traits that you have or thoughts or certain ideas that one has, if you have children, or if you have witnessed trauma, or if there's something that has been genetically embedded into you subconsciously, physically, mentally, emotionally, it kind of somewhat translates on the next generation. And that's why, in my opinion, If you take a look at most things that are what would deem to be satanic, or in the entertainment industry, satanic or Luciferian or whatever the case might be, that's why they're throwing symbols at you. And they're throwing symbols at you because you don't know why they're throwing them at you, but your subconscious may possibly be triggered or may be activated in some capacity. That's why Hollywood and the music industry and everybody is always throwing this shit at you. And you may not know why. You may think it's silly. You may think it's dumb. But believe it or not, because you have to look at yourself. If you like modern day entertainment, if you're enthralled with trends, if you're somebody that is, taken by the nose of social media, this is you. This is why they throw these fucking dumbass symbols at you all the fucking time. All right, because this is what we communicated with. We didn't have written language. We didn't really have language. In my opinion, the Egyptians, in my view, because of hieroglyphs, all right, most of the general Egyptians didn't talk. They were like, and instead, they would communicate it with sign language. All right, so I'm just saying. All right, and look, Viking Kyle, even though, he may talk shit about me, he kind of has an understanding of this. And anybody who reads into the mystery schools and esoteric philosophy, you look into the Masons, you look into the Rosicrucians, you look into the Hermetics, you'll find that, holy shit, what I just mentioned has validity,
Name of the thing it represents. Compared to hieroglyphics, the shapes are more abstract, easier to write, faster to use.
And by the way, this is the beginning of the Hebrewic symbolic language. And by the way, many of the formulas for propulsion and nuclear technology and all this shit has Hebrewic symbols that were meant thousands of years before the advent of the formulas that create propulsion and create all this shit. They're used as symbols in the formulas to create whatever it is that is being created. And Eddie 3247558 said Satanism is Jewish. I don't know. I mean, I'm not. When you take a look at the Jewish religion, they have an eclectic religion. Their religion is not something that was pre-written. Their religion was a nomadic variant in which they went from civilization to civilization. And they took whatever it was that worked for the civilization spiritually, and they would actually incorporate that into their religion. So that's what the Jewish religion is. It is a accumulation of what worked in all the civilizations that they lived in, and they incorporated what worked spiritually into their religion. That's what Judaism is.
This is the oldest traceable direct ancestor of the modern Latin alphabet, and it is here where we meet our protagonist. This is the letter Wow. Like every letter in the Proto-Sinaitic script,
wow,
it makes the first sound in its name, which in this case is what. Looking at this shape, you might wonder exactly.
See, if you talked about wild stuff like this more on TCR, you'd probably be trolled less. TCR is a different optic. You understand? The Ghost Show, I mean, look at half these idiots. They don't understand what I'm talking about. Only the few people that are out there that are like, what, Ghost, I'm getting intrigued by what Ghost is saying. Those are the only people that are going to know what I'm talking about and inquire about it, ask about it, investigate about it. Eddie 3247558, TCR is where he spreads his democratic Jew propaganda. He'd never do an actual stimulating people's minds in a way Israel would disapprove of. All right, go fuck yourself.
Actually, what specific thing it could represent. It strongly resembles one particular hieroglyph, which represents a mace. But the name Wow is more likely to have meant fowl, which implies that this circle and line are just a really, really abstract representation of a bird.
What an idiot. Abstract representation of a bird. You're a fucking idiot. All right? whoever this tard is an idiot. Why don't you take a look at, like, the Vatican from an aerial perspective, and you're going to see this symbol in the architecture. The only difference is that typically you see an obelisk representing something, and this circle, all right, having an obelisk within inside it. All right? And the reason that is because this represents the 0 and the 1 coming together to create 2. Because remember, the only way that things are created, the only way that things become 2 is if the 0 or the egg, you notice how the 0 is always kind of like an egg. It's not an O. It's like an egg, right? Or a pussy, however you want to represent it, right? And the number 1 is the cock, all right? It's the cock that goes into the 0. And then when you put it into the 0, that's what this is. That's what this is representing. And this eventually creates 2. Anyway, sorry.
Whatever the case may be, this is simply the oldest form of the letter wow. Over time,
And by the way, when you're fucking, what are you doing? Like, wow, oh God! That's what you're saying, right? Every time you're fucking, what do you say? Oh wow, oh God, oh fuck, ah! Give me a break.
Shape changed.
Give me a drink.
When writing the letter wow, its loop would often not be closed all the way.
Hold on, wait a minute. Someone, Haywood's girlfriend, made news. Dude, come on. Who did that, dude?
Gradually
who the fuck did
more
that?
And more until eventually it stopped looking like a circle at all. And then the 2 strokes were connected.
It's ironic that he says 2 strokes connected. Dude, all our number system, I don't want to get this deep. I talk about this shit with the inner circle a lot. But whenever I talk about it here, people that have a very closed mind and they don't want to fucking believe any of this shit that is the possibility. I mean, even if you don't believe me, the possibility, the probability, the preponderance of evidence is there that even though there may not be an outright fire, there's definitely smoke.
Forming a shape that could be written without lifting your stylus. This continuous hook-shaped wow is the ancestor of letters found in many modern writing systems used all over the world, from the Arabic alphabet to Devanagari.
Now, you see that, right? You see how he takes that one symbol, which is the obelisk or the 1 with the 0. And all of a sudden, it creates these different variants of shapes. That's what this is all about, dude.
From the Mongolian script to the JavaScript. The Semitic, Brahmic, and other scripts which contain some hook-shaped wow-derived letter are collectively used by billions of people from different cultures. This form of wow, however, is not the main character of this story.
Of course not.
Meanwhile, in Phoenicia, the letter wow changed in a completely different way, becoming pointier, forming a shape that certainly will look familiar.
A Y. Okay? Now we're going towards the XY chromosome shit. All this shit's connected. This dumb tar doesn't get it. He's just like, well, logically, it would do this, and logically, it would do that.
Familiar to you. Though you might say, why, as it doesn't resemble the letter this story is about. Trust me, we'll get to that. The Phoenicians probably didn't think of themselves as having invented their alphabet. The changes that happened from the Proto-Sinaitic script to the Phoenician alphabet were so gradual they likely went completely unnoticed. Like wow, other letters changed forms, and some were dropped entirely because they were unnecessary for writing the Phoenician language. Under the hood, however, it remained the same basic alphabet, with the same basic function. One change was made to the way wow was used around the 2nd century BC. The Phoenician alphabet didn't have any letters for vowel sounds.
Dude, this guy's going all over the place. He's going from Egypt to fucking Phoenicians to stick to it, dude.
A trait inherited from Egyptian. This was a problem since, like other Semitic languages,
Hebrew.
Vowels held important morphological information. The solution Phoenician phoneticians came up with was to give some letters alternate vowel readings. Wow was one of these letters to get a second pronunciation, the vowel oo. This makes perfect sense, because w and oo are basically the same sound. However, this was many centuries later, and it was only partially implemented at the point when the Phoenicians taught the Greeks how to write. In the 8th century BC, the Phoenician alphabet made its way to Greece. According to legend, the one responsible was the hero Cadmus, a Phoenician prince and monster slayer. The real-life analog to Cadmus, who I'll just refer to Cadmus from here on out as a convenient shorthand, lived in Greece and could write Phoenician fluently. It probably only seemed natural to Cadmus to use the same system to write their other language. However, while the Phoenician alphabet was great for Semitic languages, the Greek language was dramatically different.
Yeah, it was. And by the way, I let that go extra because it's Bob Tom over here, you know what I mean? Bob Tom dropped $85, so we listened to a little bit of that. I hid that link, so let's get to another one by Bob Tom. Cheers to Bob Tom. Oh, gee. Well, of course it would land on that. Another song of Ghost's mom? What the fuck is that supposed to mean, fucking... All right, here we go again. You know, making fun of my family. All right, let's do one more for Bob Tom. All right, even though these have all been really fucked up, fucking shitbird, fucking goddamn videos here. All right, what else do we have here? Ghost Glowy confirmed. Are you trying to piss me off, dude? I mean, are you? You all are trying to piss me off. Look at these people in the chat. They're all trying to piss me off. And y'all want to dictate to me.
Bioplasma.
Hold on. What is this? Put the PC shot on. What is this? Do CIA agents glow in the dark?
Is a term coined by the Soviets for bioluminescent phenomenon or energy.
What?
AKA glow in the darks. And in the first one, nothing's moving. She's not glowing. But as you can tell later on, she starts to fucking glow. So I was pretty bored late last night, and so I started digging through some of the CIA declassified files, as one does, and I started thinking about our good friend Terry A. Davis.
The CIA niggers glow in the dark. You can see them if you're driving.
While thinking about that, I decided to do some research, and I was quite surprised at what I found. What I have right here is a document released in...
Hey. That's why those that see and those that are very intelligent and those that understand the knowledge, that's why they're bright.
I'd buy that for $1.
Funny story for you. I was walking through the park with my girl, and all right, I'll get to it in a minute, all right? I'll get to it when I get to it. Anyway, thank you. I appreciate it. But anyway... That's why whenever you're smart, you are bright or brilliant, right? Or enlightened, you know?
I believe it was 2002.
By the way, in every cartoon, since you people are so addicted to cartoons, whenever somebody has a new idea, how is it visually depicted? It's visually depicted with a light bulb above their head, right?
Concerning ESP and psychokinesis, essentially telekinesis and telepathy. Couple notable things. Obviously, there is a lot that is redacted here. By the 1960s, research on bioluminescence revealed by Kirlian photography was going on in many Soviet universities. That's right, you heard that correctly. Research on bioluminescence, aka glow-in-the-darks. Perfected techniques of photographing the play of high-frequency currents on humans, plants, and animals. As
high-frequency currents on plants and animals. Do you understand now, illuminated? You're enlightened, you're bright, you're brilliant?
Well as inanimate matter have set Soviets on some striking discoveries on the energetical nature of man. Bioplasma is a term coined by the Soviets for bioluminescent phenomenon or energy. They actually got some pictures of this bioplasma down here. So this is what's supposed to be pictures of fingers glowing. It says illustration 3, upper photograph displays flares of energy from the fingers of the left and right hands of an individual. Lower photograph shows fingers of 3 different people, shows how the aura of quote unquote energy remains intact, yet interplays in a long thread like fibers along the open area in between them. I'm not sure if this is visual light or if this is on an electromagnetic spectrum or something different. There's a lot of redacted.
It's about a world that you can't see. That's why you can only see it through different spectrums of the lighting system, or, the Kelvin of that's how light's measured.
So it could very well be Sergeyev registered a heightened biological luminescence radiating from collaginas. This woman's eyes,
and y'all are calling me
movements of objects by PK. Yep. He postulates that the bioplasma of the human body must interact with the environment. So you fucking glow when you use telekinesis, according to this declassified fucking CIA.
Yeah. By the way, age slaves said, my nutsack glows in the dark because of microplastics. Great. Stooge Rule said, how much would I have to spend to get you to take the RAADSR test on the Ghost Show to check if you're autistic or not? Dude, those are fake as fuck. Those autistic tests are fake as shit.
A document. I'm not joking. This is fucking real. You can go look this up. They go on to talk about up here how in one test, a raw egg was placed in a salt solution inside an aquarium 6 feet away from her, and she was able to use PK to separate the yolk from the white of the egg. And then later on, she was able to... This is a series of pictures that allegedly depicts that she is able to move... There's a cigar tin. These pictures are really fucking bad. Just hard to see anything. Anyway, she takes this fucking cigar tin and she moves it closer to her. There's like a ruler behind it. It's fucking hard to see anything with this. It's really fucking hard to see anything. You will notice that during these pictures, there's a series of 8 of them, right? And in the first one, nothing's moving. She's not glowing. But as you can tell later on, she starts to fucking glow, right? Look at that. Look at those lens flares. And it kind of looks like not just her, but like it's affecting like the entire lens. Like everything is becoming overexposed because this woman is glowing so fucking brightly. And she keeps glowing, and you'll notice the thing keeps getting closer to her. And at the end, she stops glowing, and the thing is next to her. So this series of photos shows Nina, I'm not going to even try with that one, moving a metallic cigar tube. Scale and background is by centimeters. So what? She pulls it like 50 centimeters closer to her, and she's glowing the whole time. So anyway, that is a CIA document showing.
Dude,
that...
have y'all? People are freaking out. Y'all have never been to the CIA library vault? I mean, they've done studies about all kinds of shit. I mean, they have. You could go and search and find how to control people's minds through electroencephalographical brain frequencies. Believe it or not, how they were able to get that Havana syndrome, which we have, heard about, that are afflicting certain CIA agents. It's very easy to fuck somebody up mentally by transmitting low frequency waves into people's heads. It's called psychotronic weapons. And look, some of you techies, I know that there's a lot of smart people that listen to me, man, that are tech guys, that are autists, that do this kind of shit for fun. I would strongly suggest, if you have more time than money and you can do this, try to fuck around with low frequencies. Get a transmitter. And remember, it's line of sight, all right? So you have to have some ability to be able, to line of sight an area in which somebody or some people are going to be around in order for it to be effective. Anyway, I don't even know why I shouldn't even be talking about this, to be honest.
People allegedly glow when they're using ESP. I shouldn't even be talking about this shit. And then over here, we have... we have a memo going out. This is in 78, so this is 6 years later. So 6 years later, they send out a memo for a policy to be put in effect for the ESP. Now, this implies that there already is ESP activity, and there probably has been for a long time. And if we know anything about how governmental programs...
You know, they went into this in a really stupid movie, and the reason it was so stupid is because they really didn't want anybody to take it serious. It's called Men Stare at Goats, which is an actual CIA study that you can find in the CIA vault, in which they go into ESP, by the way.
And bureaucracy works, it probably took them a long time to put these policies in effect. Some might even say, did it take them 6 years? It might have taken them 6 years. Who's to say? Not me. Anyway, here's just a little documentation that the CIA was absolutely researching ESP, and they were absolutely using their own agents to conduct this research into ESP. So who's to say that... I can't even say it with a straight face. Who's to say that there aren't CIA agents out there separating egg yolks from egg whites glowing in the dark?
It's a little more complex than that, but let's be honest. All right, it goes back to what...
I'd buy that for $1.
Do not do anything just suggested. Ghost just suggested he's trying to create a false flag event because he's a psyop. No, I'm not trying to make... I'm just trying to give people an understanding of what the hell's going on here. I mean, you can be controlled. You absolutely can be controlled. And if you don't believe that you can be controlled, then you're probably already controlled. You know? Anyway, Bob, Tom, I'm going to give you one more since you were holding so well, you know, for me in this show. So one more, all right? What's this here? The Nintendo... Oh, Jesus Christ. This is the last one, Bob, Tom. Seriously, what the fuck is this shit? What is this shit? What is this shit? What is this shit? Excuse me. What the fuck is this, Bob, Tom?